Have you ever noticed how every generation gets its own story? Boomers, they get roasted online all the time. Millennials, analyzed like there's some weird science experiment. Gen Z, studied like they just dropped off another planet. But smack in the middle, there's a generation rarely talked about. They don't make headlines. They don't chase likes. They don't crave attention. They just exist and quietly shape the world around them. We're talking about Generation X, born roughly between 1965 and 1980. Think about the Gen Zers in your life. The coworker who fixes problems before anyone even notices. The parent who doesn't overshare but is always there when it matters. The friend who knows how to make things work and doesn't feel the need to broadcast it online. That calm, understated competence, that's not luck. That's a lifetime of lessons, experience, and psychology shaped by the world they grew up in. Generation X was the first to grow up as latchkey kids on a massive scale. Picture this. It's 1978. You're 8 years old. You walk up to your house. The door is locked. Silence presses in. No parents. No babysitter. No cell phone. No alerts to check on you. What would it feel like to face life alone after school every single day? Could you learn to rely only on yourself and still thrive? You open the door, grab a snack, do your homework, maybe flip on a small black and white TV. You occupy yourself because you have no other choice. It wasn't just about self-reliance. It shaped their mental models of the world. Actions have consequences. Nobody's coming to fix things for you. Mistakes hurt. Success is earned. Imagine the cognitive impact, a high-contingency environment where cause and effect are immediate, not buffered by someone else's intervention. That's why so many Gen Zers seem to anticipate outcomes effortlessly, think 2 or 3 steps ahead, and spot potential problems before they arise. Many started working young, not for prestige, not for LinkedIn points, but to survive and contribute. Paper routes before sunrise, bagging groceries after school, fast food shifts where you hear the beeping of the register, feel the sticky tray in your hands, and mentally calculate the change when the machine glitches. The cold morning air on your face, the smell of paper and ink, sneakers squeaking across the sidewalk. You deliver, or you fail. That's hands-on responsibility in its rawest form. It's the kind of life lesson no video game, app, or online tutorial can teach. Watching parents or neighbors lose jobs despite years of loyalty was another lesson. Life didn't reward obedience alone. Competence and adaptability mattered. And from that came a defining Gen X trait: realistic optimism. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Growing up under Cold War tension wasn't easy. Nuclear drills were routine. Air raid sirens were ordinary background noise. The world could implode any minute. But life went on. So they laughed. Sarcasm, irony, dark humor. Not just personality quirks. These were psychological shields. Could you face a world on edge and still find a way to laugh? It's no wonder so much Gen X pop culture is drenched in deadpan humor, satirical movies, and ironic music. It's coping wrapped in style. Humor taught resilience. Patience taught reflection. Together, these skills built a generation ready to handle uncertainty without losing their cool. Think about social media today. Gen X rarely overshares online. Why? Privacy was normal. If you made a mistake in the 80s, maybe your parents or a few neighbors saw it. That's it. No viral clips. No endless screenshots. Mistakes faded with time. Lessons stuck. This shaped a cautious approach to visibility. Share too much, and you expose yourself unnecessarily. Competence mattered more than appearance. Results mattered more than approval. Now let's dive into what makes Gen Zers tick: their independence, resourcefulness, and adaptability. From the start, they figured things out themselves. No how-to guides on YouTube. No Google tutorials. Just trial and error and learning by doing. Imagine this. A bike chain snaps mid-ride. You're 10 years old. You can't call anyone. You can't just text a mechanic. You fix it or you walk home. Hands greasy, knees scraped, mind calculating how to make it work. These small victories created confidence in problem-solving and an uncanny ability to anticipate outcomes. Psychologists call this contingency awareness, predicting cause and effect in real time. It's why many Gen Zers can spot risks and plan solutions while the rest of us are still panicking. Even their learning habits reflected this pre-digital world. Information required effort, digging through libraries, flipping through card catalogs, experimenting in the kitchen or garage. Effortful learning led to deeper encoding, meaning lessons stick longer and skills sharpened. Gen X grew up watching stability crumble. Companies downsized. Recessions hit. Parents who worked for decades laid off without warning. Repeated shocks built a survival mindset. Diversify income, build competence, don't rely on a single source of security. Multiple income streams weren't trendy, they were lifelines. Financial literacy became a necessity, not an elective. They weren't just book smart. They were street smart, tool smart, and mechanically adept. Broken appliances? You fix them. A flickering TV? You trace the wires. A jammed typewriter? You figure it out before anyone intervenes. This built something rare today: practical intelligence, the kind of confidence that comes from solving tangible problems. It's why so many Gen Zers excel in careers requiring both technical skill and critical thinking: IT, engineering, emergency services, trades. You name it. Gen X doesn't advertise effort. They just get it done. Whether it's working a midnight shift at a grocery store or staying late in an office, they aren't seeking applause. They measure success by results, not likes or recognition. Yet, paradoxically, they are excellent collaborators. They've learned to be independent, but when someone else needs support, they show up without fanfare. This combination of self-reliance and quiet teamwork is almost a lost art in a world obsessed with social validation. Now, many Gen Zers are raising children in an era of constant supervision, social media, and digital exposure. They give attention they didn't always receive, protection they once lacked. Yet they quietly wonder, does this constant visibility hinder independence? They've seen the psychological impact of overexposure, stress from constant comparison, anxiety from performing life online, and reduced problem-solving skills when answers are always one tap away. So they try to balance freedom with safety, letting kids explore and fail while teaching resilience. Privacy isn't just a preference for Gen X, it's a core survival skill. Growing up, if you made a mistake, only a few people knew. Life was lived offline. Failures faded. Lessons endured. This shaped a careful approach to sharing and trust. You don't overshare because you know exposure carries risk. This mindset also affects how they interact at work and in relationships. They value competence over status. They respect authenticity. They measure people by actions, not appearances. Gen X's childhood created cognitive flexibility, the ability to switch strategies when the first approach fails. Library research, hands-on tinkering, and solving daily challenges without guidance built mental agility. They learned to think on their feet, adapt to unexpected problems, and integrate multiple types of information simultaneously. Think about your Gen X coworker. Why don't they overshare online? What does it say about how they were raised? Could you grow up handling life solo after school every day and still thrive? Could you laugh through tension, navigate uncertainty, and still stay grounded? These are the daily realities that forged this generation. Independence, problem-solving, and resilience weren't taught in classrooms or online tutorials. They were lived, experienced, and earned through trial and error. Each scraped knee, each broken appliance, each early morning paper route was a lesson in perseverance and practical intelligence. Each small victory built confidence, mental agility, and the ability to anticipate outcomes before anyone else even noticed. These life lessons didn't just shape careers. They shaped character, relationships, and how Gen Zers approach parenting, collaboration, and even social interaction. They respect competence over recognition, action over applause, and solutions over complaints. From the analog world to the digital age, they adapted without losing their core skills, instincts, and quiet wisdom. They learned how to survive uncertainty, think independently, and navigate complex social and economic landscapes. That's the Gen X mindset: resourceful, resilient, quietly competent, and endlessly adaptive. So, we've talked about independence, problem solving, and resilience. Now let's step back and ask, what does it all mean? Generation X didn't just grow up. They built mental bridges between eras, ideas, and cultures. Think about it. They were the last generation to grow up fully analog. No internet, no smartphones, no 24/7 connectivity. And they were the first to enter a digital world, helping shape the internet, tech, and culture as adults. They straddled two worlds, the tactile and the virtual, the predictable and the chaotic. What does being a bridge mean? Bridges don't ask for applause. They don't demand recognition. They hold weight, connect gaps, and keep life moving, all without fanfare. Gen Zers embody that. They respect competence, not hierarchy. They value skill, not status. They help quietly, because they know action matters more than recognition. One of the defining traits of Gen X? Comfort with solitude. No autoplay. No endless scrolling feeds. No algorithm cramming your attention. Just time to think, reflect, get bored, and figure stuff out on your own. Sitting alone with a cassette tape, a bike, or a book, learning patience, focus, and creativity. Think about that for a second. Could you thrive in a world without constant stimulation? Could you learn patience, independence, emotional regulation, all without a screen telling you what to do? Gen X has influenced art, music, and culture in subtle but profound ways. They defined grunge and alternative music, shaping attitudes of introspection, irony, and self-reliance. They pioneered early internet forums, tech startups, and digital infrastructure. They popularized dark comedy, satire, and ironic storytelling. Coping mechanisms turned into cultural phenomena. Even their humor and pop culture influence reflect adaptive coping mechanisms, turning anxiety into creativity, tension into satire, and risk into reflection. Now, as parents, many Gen Zers face a paradox. They remember freedom and boredom. They see the digital avalanche their kids face. They want to give more guidance, more attention, more protection. Yet they quietly wonder, does constant exposure limit independence? They're raising kids who may never know true boredom or self-directed problem solving. And that worry shapes how they parent, encouraging independence while providing safety, balancing freedom with boundaries. Let's take a step into a Gen Zer's memory. Walking home from a paper route, coins clinking in your pocket, sneakers scraping the sidewalk, the cold morning air biting at your cheeks. You've got to get it right or go hungry. Sitting alone in a quiet living room, a flickering TV in the corner, homework spread across the table, the hum of the refrigerator your only company. Figuring things out alone. Fixing a broken bike chain in the garage, hands greasy, fingers scraped, thinking 3 steps ahead about how to make it work or walk home. These sensory snapshots aren't just nostalgia. They teach resilience, patience, and foresight. Generation X may be the last generation to experience true independence in childhood. They are bridges between analog and digital, between privacy and transparency, between patience and instant gratification. Quiet doesn't mean absent. Action doesn't require applause. Bridges keep life moving, even when no one notices. They do the work. They solve problems. They hold things together. They adapt. They survive. And they ask nothing in return. Think about your Gen X coworker, parent, or friend. Their calm, measured presence, that's a lifetime of lessons shaped by history, psychology, and circumstance. The faint hum of a flickering TV at dusk, a quiet house, the smell of a cold morning lingering in the kitchen. The world outside is chaotic. Inside, they're calm, prepared, competent, in control. Generation X doesn't ask for applause. They are the bridge. Without them, nothing moves. If you like this, hit subscribe so we can stay connected. I share more content like this all the time.